Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Okay, on the record, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus David William Harris, file number 23-02000 SM, counsel appearance.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Harris for purposes of arraignment.
And you're Mr. Aaron Robinson?
David Harris. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, Aaron Harris. I'm sorry. You're Aaron Harris? David Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Harris states the date set for arraignment. I do have a complaint here, a misdemeanor complaint. It alleges that on or about April 28, 2023, at the area of 1616 James, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly commit the act contrary to law in count 1, that being a domestic violence. It alleges that you did make an assault or assault and battery upon a Rebecca Newman, an individual with whom you had a child in common, or a resident or former resident of your household, or individual with whom you had a dating relationship, and that this was done contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.812. Restitution may be ordered upon conviction, as count 1 may have resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. Count 1 is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. There's a count 2 of assault or assault and battery. It alleges that you did make an assault or assault and battery upon the following person, that being a Wesley Cheeks Jr., contrary to MCL 750.811. Restitution may be ordered in that offense, as well as count 2 may have resulted in damage to another individual's property, physical injury, or death to another individual. Count 2 is a misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. There's a count 3 of malicious destruction of personal property less than 200, alleging that you did willfully and maliciously destroy or injure the property of Rebecca Newman, and the amount of the destruction or injury was less than $200, and that this was contrary to MCL 750.377A1D. Count 3 is a misdemeanor. Maximum penalty 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines, or 3 times the amount of the destruction or injury, whichever is greater. Do you understand the charges in counts 1, 2, 3, and the maximum penalty attached?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to be represented by counsel, and Ms. Robinson is representing you today for the purpose of your arraignment only. You do have the right, though, to have an attorney represent you at each stage of the criminal prosecution, and you have the right to be represented by counsel if you are questioned by law enforcement. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, but you economically qualify, you can be appointed a court-appointed attorney at the expense of the public. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You can plead not guilty, or you can stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will proceed all the way to a jury trial. You have the right to jury trial. You have the right to the presumption of innocence at the time of trial. And you have the right to remain silent at your trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to require the prosecutor to prove your guilt at trial by proving each element of the charges being brought against you, and they must prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to confront your accusers in court at your trial. and you have the right to cross-examine or question any of those witnesses. You have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence at trial that you believe further a defense to the charges being brought against you. Do you have any questions about those rights so far?
No, ma'am.
Is he requesting court-appointed counsel?
He is, Your Honor.
The court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf for the purposes of arraignment. You're currently scheduled for pretrial conference before me, Judge Kristen Simmons, January 16th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. Did you get a copy of your notice to appear?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and it should have had Zoom instructions for my courtroom as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is that?
Through Manpower, it's like a little part-time job at Michigan State.
What's your home address?
3512 Birchfield Drive. I've been staying at the Michigan Michigan Avenue.
I'm sorry, you've been saying where?
Michigan Avenue.
Okay, so what is the 3512 Birchfield Drive address?
This is more of a mailing address. It's where my mom stays.
Okay. What's your phone number?
517-513-6915.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any other matters pending in any other courts?
No.
You can address bond counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Harris has been in the Lansing community for a long time. He does have family in the area. He has an address away from the alleged victim in this case. He's not on probation or parole, and we'd request personal recognizance.
Have you missed court in the past?
Excuse me?
Have you missed court in the past?
Yeah, I have.
Why did you miss court?
That was the issue with me getting my mail and I wasn't getting my court dates. Well, after that, I did come to every court date I had that I knew of.
Okay, how, with you staying at the mission, how are you going to be responsible to keep up with your court dates if we're getting a mailing address to your mother's address?
Well, now like actually we have I'm talking to her again, so she's been making sure I get my mail and she's been trying to help me get my life back together. I don't stay with her, but she makes sure I get my mail and I got a phone that's on so I can communicate with people in Zoom if I have to.
I don't see any other. Violent convictions. Or assaultive convictions. I also note that the alleged incident was some time ago, back in April of 2023. For that reason, I'll grant the request for a personal recognizance bond, as I don't believe that there is a threat to the public safety at this time. The bond will be set in the amount of 1,000 personal recognizance. There's a no contact order that will be in place for the protection of Rebecca Newman and Wesley Cheeks Jr. You're not to be within 1,500 feet of wherever they are, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with Rebecca Newman or Wesley Cheeks Jr. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand what indirect contact would include?
Yes.
Okay. You need to report to all of your court dates, and you do have your next court date already.
Yes, I do.
While out on bond, you're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions?
No, ma'am.
Any additional matters for this record, counsel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're all set, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
On the record, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Sabrina Marie Bartel, file number is 22-03153. Appearance for the record.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender, for Ms. Bartel. I had not had a chance to speak with her. She was not on the
Okay.
list.
Okay, well, I have here that this was one of my files, actually. It's for a failure to appear probation violation. Arraignment. Let's see. Okay, Ms. Bartel, I do have a request and summons for probation violation. That's dated July 28th, 2023. The allegations are that you failed to submit to testing as ordered by the court at EverHealth, and that you failed to test back on June 1st, June 8th, June 12th, June 18th, June 28th, June 4th, and July 4th and July 9th, 2023. There's also an allegation that you failed to provide proof of continued treatment at Crystal Ray, and there's a violation per order on April 20th that you failed to provide proof of your 12-step program. There's also an allegation that you committed the following non-technical probation violations. It alleges that you failed to report to your probation officer back on June 1st, 2023 and July 6th, 2023, and that you had absconded from probation. So you have the right to have a contested hearing on the probation violation, and you have the right to be represented by an attorney at the time of that hearing. If you are determined to be in violation of your probation status, your probation can be revoked and you can be sentenced to a term of jail time. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Your probation also could be extended, or you can have other sanctions or oversight imposed if found to be in violation of your probation status. Did you want to have a court-appointed counsel represent you for the probation?
Yes, ma'am, I do, please.
Okay, you'll hang tight and you'll meet with Ms. Robinson after we complete the other arraignment so that she can get information for you for your intake for the purposes of the hearing for the probation violation. The court will enter a plea of not guilty
Thank you, Your
at
Honor.
this time. It will be set for a probation violation hearing,
Thank you, Your Honor.
and you'll receive that notification by mail. What is your address?
430 East Howe Avenue, Lansing, Michigan, 48906.
What's your phone number?
517-410-9982.
Your bond is going to be set at 1,000 cash surety, and you'll get notice of your court date in the mail.
Your Honor, is it
Yes,
possible to get a PR bond, ma'am?
it's
never-
not possible.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus James Jamar Wilson. Council appearance.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Wilson for purposes of arraignment.
Can you step forward, please? Thank you, Mr. James Jamar Wilson.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, today's the date. We're proceeding with an arraignment. I do have a felony complaint here. It alleges that order about December 29, 2023 at 5601 South Waverly Road, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly, contrary to law, commit the act in count 1 of controlled substance delivery, manufacture of cocaine, heroin, or other narcotic less than 50 grams. The allegations are that you did possess with the intent to deliver less than 50 grams of a mixture containing the controlled substance cocaine, and that this was contrary to Michigan compiled law 333.740128.4. That's a felony. Maximum penalty is 20 years in prison and or $25,000 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed for any other felony conviction. There is, however, a habitual offender fourth offense notice. It states, take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of 3 or more felonies or attempts to commit felonies, and that on or about November 4th, 2009, he was convicted of the offense of controlled substance possession less than 25 grams in violation of MCL 333.740328.5 in the 30th Circuit Court for Ingham County, State of Michigan, and that on or about February 24th, 2010, he was convicted of the offense of police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing in violation of MCL 750.81D1 in the 30th Circuit Court for Ingham County, State of Michigan. And that on or about January 3rd, 2016, he was convicted of the offense of controlled substance possession less than 25 grams in violation of MCL 333.740328.5 in the 30th Circuit Court, Ingham County, State of Michigan, and therefore Defendant is subject to the penalties provided in MCL 769.12. Penalty is life if primary offense has a penalty of 5 years or more. The penalty would be 15 years or less if the primary offense has a penalty under 5 years. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for the first conviction. Count one is the primary offense with the maximum penalty of 20 years. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty and the habitual offender fourth offense notice?
Yes.
Okay, you have the right to be represented by counsel. Ms. Robinson is representing you today for the purposes of your arraignment. But you have the right to have an attorney to represent you throughout the entirety of the criminal prosecution. You also have the right to be represented by counsel if you are questioned by law enforcement. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the public defender's office appointed at the expense of the public. Do you understand your right to counsel?
Yes.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You can plead not guilty or you can stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will proceed all the way to a jury trial. You have the right to a jury trial, but before that stage, you would have the right to have a preliminary examination here in the district court. At the time of the preliminary examination, and you have the right to have that within 21 days of the date that you're arraigned, unless you waive that timeline or the court finds good cause to go beyond the 21 days. The purpose of the preliminary examination is to require the prosecutor to establish that they have probable cause sufficient that a crime was committed and then sufficient probable cause to charge you with that crime. If this matter proceeds to a trial, you have the right again to jury trial. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You are innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt at trial by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to see, hear, or question any witness the prosecution calls against you at trial, and you have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence at trial that you believe show a defense to the charge being brought against you. Do you have any questions about any of those rights?
No.
You're currently scheduled for probable cause conference before Judge Stacia Buchanan, January 12, 2024 at 1:15 p.m. You may appear via Zoom or in person. Your preliminary examination is currently scheduled before Judge Buchanan on January 19, 2024 at 8:30 in the morning. That is in person at the court. Did you receive your notice to appear?
Yes.
Is he requesting court-appointed counsel, Ms. Robinson?
He is, Your Honor.
Okay, the court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. What's your home address?
3210 West Holmes Road.
Is there an apartment there?
No.
Okay, what's your phone number?
517-294-4691.
Okay, and are you currently employed?
No.
You said no?
Yes, no.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No.
Do you have any other matters pending?
No.
You can address bond counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wilson is from the Lansing area originally. He does have family in the area. This is a nonviolent offense. He's not currently on probation or parole. We'd request a personal recognizance bond.
Have you missed court in the past?
No.
I'll give you a personal recognizance bond in the amount of 10,000 personal recognizance while out on bond. You have the following conditions. You need to report to court for all of your court dates. You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours, and I am going to place you on a GPS tether. Do you have any questions about your bond?
No.
Any additional matters for the record?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're all set, sir. Thank you. The record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Dorian Price, file number 22-01805, counsel appearance.
Karen Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Price for purposes of arraignment.
You're Dorian Price?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Price, I do have a misdemeanor complaint here. It alleges that on or about July 4th, 2022, at the area of 1001 West Kavanaugh Road, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly commit the act in count 1 of domestic violence. The allegation is that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon a Kaylee Piercefield, a resident or former resident of your household, or an individual with whom you had a dating relationship, and that this was contrary to MTL 750.812. Restitution may be ordered upon conviction, as this offense may have resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. This is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
You have the right to be represented by counsel. Ms. Robinson is representing you today for your arraignment only. You have the right to have an attorney represent you if you're questioned by law enforcement, and you have the right to be represented by counsel at each court appearance. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can request to have court-appointed counsel appointed at the expense of the public. Do you understand your right to counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You have the right to plead not guilty, or you can stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will proceed to a trial. You have the right to jury trial. You have the right to the presumption of innocence at your jury trial. So you're innocent until proven guilty, sir. You have the right to require the prosecution prove your guilt at trial by proving each element of the charge of domestic violence beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent at your trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to confront your accusers and cross-examine them in court. And you have the right to call your own witnesses to court to testify at your trial or present evidence at trial that you believe to show a defense to the charge being brought against you. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Okay, you're currently scheduled for a pretrial conference before Judge Stacia Buchanan, February 5th, 2024 at 9:30 in the morning. Did you get a copy of the notice to appear and her Zoom instructions?
Yes, I have, Your Honor. I have them right here in front of me.
Very good. Is he requesting court-appointed counsel?
He is, Your Honor.
The court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. What's your home address, sir?
I have to get it. I just got released from Clinton County yesterday, so I have to get my new address, but can I give you my mom's address?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so that's 10629 North Royston Road.
10629.
Yep, North Royston Road, Royston.
Okay, that's in Lansing,
No, it is in Grand Ledge.
Grand Ledge. Okay, what's your phone number?
I don't have one right now. I will also give you my mom's phone number.
Okay,
Are you ready? I'm sorry.
you're fine.
313-806-6334.
Are you currently employed?
No, I'm not, Your Honor.
Are you currently on probation or parole?
Not currently, but I do have to go, after I leave here, I do have to go back out to Clinton County to get my probation started. So I don't know if you count that yes or no.
Get your probation started. Were you sentenced to the term of probation?
2 years.
So you were sentenced to probation, so you are on probation?
Yeah, it just hasn't started yet.
Okay. Which court?
For Clinton,
You're on probation in Clinton County?
yes, Your Honor, I am.
Okay. I do see here in the file where there was a writ, I think signed last week for you to appear on January 8th for the arraignment on this matter. So you will not need to appear on January 8th to be arraigned on this matter, okay?
Okay, yeah, I did send out some writs to get this taken care of.
Correct. I see where you did submit to a court, attempt to a misdemeanor plea by mail. They did go ahead and set you for an arraignment before the magistrate However, you won't need to do that anymore because you're being arraigned on this matter now. So your next court date on this matter is going to be the February 5th matter that you have notice for, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And I recognize that you just indicated that you are currently on or going to be going on probation. I don't actually have any criminal history for you on, nothing listed at least on the report that I have. This is also an allegation from an alleged incident having occurred over a year and a half ago at this point. I'll grant a personal recognizance bond and a no contact order. Bond is set in the amount of 500 personal recognizance. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with Kaylee Piercefield, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior of any kind while you're out on bond, okay?
I have a question. So,
Yes.
so we have a child together. So am I allowed to contact like one of her family members to go get my son or see my son? Or would that count as me having like third-party contact through her? I just want to clarify that so I don't get into any trouble because I do want to potentially see my son after I get out because I have just served an extensive stay and that's like one of the first things I want to do.
I'll note here that third-party contact will be allowed for the purposes of arranging childcare. Okay, so you can have someone else arrange that childcare and you pick up the child through someone else, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor, for clarifying that for me.
No problem. And so you're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Probably all things that you're going to be required to do and not to do while you're on probation anyways, okay?
Correct.
Okay, do you have any questions for the court at this time?
No, Your Honor, thank you. You have a good day.
Same to you. Any additional matters, counsel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're all set, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus the Thomas James Davis, counsel appearance.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Davis for purposes of arraignment.
Okay, let's see. I have several files here. We'll start with the felony. Mr. Davis, I have a felony complaint here. It alleges that on or about December 29, 2023 at the area of 3018 Northeast Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly, contrary to law, commit the act in count 1 of police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing. The allegation is that you did assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Officer Andrew Armstrong, and a police officer of the city of Lansing that the defendant knew or had reason to know was performing his duties contrary to MCL 750.8 1D1. Count 1 is a felony, the maximum penalty 2 years and or $2,000. And a consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750.506A if the assault was committed in a place of confinement or under MCL 750.81D6 for another violation arising from the same transaction. There is, however, a habitual offender notice. It says second offense notice. Take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of a felony or attempt to commit a felony in that on or about November 9th, 2021. He was convicted of the offense of controlled substance possession of methamphetamine in violation of MCL 333.74032B1 in the 29th Circuit Court for Clinton County, State of Michigan. Therefore, the defendant is subject to the penalties provided by MCL 769.10 that enhances the penalty in count 1 to 1 1/2 times the maximum sentence on primary offense or a lesser term. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for the first conviction. Do you understand the charge in count 1 and the maximum penalty, sir?
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, you have the right. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. Ms. Robinson is representing you today on this file only for the purposes of your arraignment. You do have the right to have an attorney represent you at each stage of the criminal prosecution. You have the right to be represented by an attorney if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request in this file to have the public defender's office appointed to represent you at the expense of the public. Do you understand your right to counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You can plead not guilty, or you can stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will proceed all the way to a trial. You have the right in this file to proceed to a preliminary examination within 21 days of today's date. At the time of your examination, you have the right to require the prosecution to establish that they have sufficient probable cause that a crime was committed, and then probable cause sufficient to charge you with the crime. You have the right to proceed to jury trial in this matter. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent at your trial, not have silence be used to prove or imply that you're guilty. You have the right to confront and cross-examine any witness that the prosecution calls at your trial. You have the right to subpoena witnesses on your own behalf to trial to testify or to present evidence at your trial that you believe further defense to the charge being brought against you. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, was there an additional question that you might have had?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was that question?
I just want to put out there that I was a fight or flight situation.
Don't talk about the facts of the case, Mr. Davis. You're being recorded.
Sorry.
You don't want those statements to be used against you.
Sorry. And yeah, Your Honor, I got a full-time job and I got a kid that I'm taking care of, and
So what's the question? What's the question?
I just wanted to put that out there as a note. I'm sorry.
Thank you. We'll get into some personal information in just a moment. Okay, so you're currently scheduled in this file for a probable cause conference before Judge Tony Flores. It's going to be January 12th, 2024 at 8:30 in the morning, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a preliminary examination in person before Judge Flores, January 19th, 2024 at 8:30 in the morning. So you can appear for your probable cause conference via Zoom or in person, but your preliminary examination, you must appear in person. Did you get your notice to appear for your court dates for Judge Flores and his Zoom instructions?
I did not. It said that the notice to appear will be mailed within 48 hours of your arraignment date.
Okay, I'm talking about the new felony file. You have 3 files.
Yes, I don't. Oh, yes, I do. Sorry.
Very good.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay, what's your home
Yes.
address?
5942 Edson, Edson, and that is Hazlet, Michigan 48840. And
Your
that is
phone
my mother's
number?
517-927-1088.
If that's your mother's address, do you live there?
Yes, I live there with my mom and my kid.
Are you employed?
Yes, full time.
Where are you employed?
It's called Rise Event Staffing.
Is he requesting court-appointed counsel on this file, Ms. Robinson?
He is.
Okay, the court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf on that file. We have people of the state of Michigan versus Thomas Davis, file number 23-034119FY. Mr. Davis, you were arraigned on this matter by Magistrate Milborn back on November 14, 2023. You were supposed to appear in court for a probable cause conference. Your probable cause conference was before Judge Flores, and it was back on November 14th, I'm sorry, November 22nd, actually, at 2:30. You failed to appear. However, he was nice enough to hold a bench warrant for you and give you an opportunity to appear within 48 hours, but you failed to do so. Then there was a preliminary examination scheduled in this matter November 30th at 9:30 in the morning, and you failed to appear. Did you forget you had court?
What's that, Your Honor?
Did you forget about those court dates?
The information for those court dates were inside a van, and inside that van, it got stolen. I've been dealing with a lot of thieves in and around my mom's house, and in the area where I've been. It's been a very hectic holidays. And
Got
that
I
would
get
have
it.
been the only
So-
reason. I don't
So
miss
when
court dates.
when your court dates got stolen, did you forget you had a pending case?
Yes, it's that I didn't forget. I was really discombobulated, and I knew I was going to have to take care of this stuff. And it really just slipped past my mind. I have all my stuff back together now. I have my phone back. I have everything I need back to communicate properly with the courts. That took me several weeks to save up the money to do that. Now that I have everything back in order, I shouldn't have any problems contacting or communicating with the courts.
Wonderful. Okay, what is this? Okay, and then the other matter is a bond violation, PA 53. I'm sure this is attached to the case that I just discussed with you. The bond conditions were that you were not to commit any crime while released, and you're now being alleged to have resisted or obstructed an officer during their investigation. And so for the purposes of the PA 53 violation, you have the right to have a contested hearing on that violation. If you're found to be in violation of your bond can be revoked pending the matter, or you can be sentenced for a violation of a contempt of court order, which is punishable with the maximum penalty of 93 days in jail and or $7,500 in fines, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so he wants to plead not guilty to the bond violation, I'm assuming?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and does he have a public defender on the other matter?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so the court will enter a not guilty on the PA 53, and you will be set for a hearing on the PA 53. You'll also receive your next notice to appear for your probable cause conferences and a preliminary examination on file number 23-03419 via mail from Judge Flores, okay? Did you hear me, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's see. You can address bond counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Davis has been in the Lansing area for quite some time. He's from there originally. He lives with his mother. He does have a job. He is working full time. We would request a personal recognizance bond.
Request for personal recognizance bond is denied. A, he doesn't follow his bonds because he's failed to appear on more than one occasion on a previously or already pending file. In that file, I did actually review the bond report that was provided to the magistrate back on November 14th to help her with sentencing. And at that time, although that report clearly indicated that he did have 2 or more prior qualifying failure to appears, she did grant him the benefit of a personal recognizance bond. So it was already provided to the court that he is someone who does not appear in court. And so there's a risk that's evident by a past practice in history in these files that he doesn't appear in court. And so because of that, personal recognizance bond is denied. In the new file, I'm going to issue a bond of $15,000 cash surety.
Well, that's 1,500, Your Honor.
No.
No, I didn't say 10%, I said cash surety.
Okay, so 1,500.
Okay,
And that would
Okay,
get me a
so-
bond out of this right here.
okay, I said 15,000 cash surety, okay, on that bond. On the file for Judge Flores that you failed to appear twice for, your bond is gonna be 5,000 cash surety. All your bonds or bond conditions from file number 23-03419 will remain intact. That includes not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior, not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription, not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You must report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release. All of those conditions will be the same conditions on this new file, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions at this time?
No.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set. Thank you. That's all the files I have. And then Ms. Robinson needs to speak with the individual that needs to intake.
She's right here, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, the
Yes,
bond conditional release violation, that's, you lumped that in with the resisting officer.
I'm sorry, which one?
The resisting
Uh,
officer.
The
and then the
conditional release?
violation.
Yeah, that is for the bond that he's already on for Flores. And so his bond is gonna be 5,000 cash surety. I can't set 2 bonds on the same file.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
So.
No problem. Let me see if I can get you at a breakout room.